Hi, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at some SpaceDesk issues. So I've had quite a few comments on my YouTube videos regarding people having very laggy connections when using SpaceDesk. So I thought I'd just run through a few settings that you can change to get the most and quickest stable connection using SpaceDesk. Now there are two ways that you can connect to SpaceDesk. One of which is via Wi-Fi or local area network in the SpaceDesk driver console, and the other is via a USB cable for either Android or iOS. So I just thought I'd go through some of the settings that you need to make sure are correct to get the best performance. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up the SpaceDesk driver console for Windows. And over here on the left hand side you want to go to communications interface. Now I would suggest that when you're making these changes, turn the console off by clicking this button up here. Once you turn the driver console off, now depending on how you want to connect to SpaceDesk, I'm using an iPad or you can use an Android tablet. One thing I do want to mention actually is that if you are using an Apple device, you need to make sure you have iTunes installed on your PC. It needs iTunes to run all of the drivers in the background once connected via cable. You don't need this if you're using Wi-Fi. Once you've got iTunes installed, if you are using an iPad, then you want to come over down to the driver console and click USB cable for iOS. As you can see now, the console is now updating. I have my iPad connected in the top left of the screen there. As you can see, it's picking up my main PC via Wi-Fi, my Windows 11 machine. Now it's important to note that before you do any of this, you want to make sure that you don't have the iPad connected via cable. Once you have these checked, turn the console back on. Once the driver console is back on, you want to head over to your iPad or Android device and connect the USB cable. As you can see, I've connected the cable, but it's still not coming up with the USB option. So if you have similar problems, then I suggest you close the app, reopen the app, and here you can see SpaceDesk USB connection recognized. If you click connect, and you can see down in the connections tab now, we now have iPad connected. This is going to run much faster over USB than it will your Wi-Fi network. Now, when you are using a USB cable, please make sure you are using a decent USB cable, ideally USB-C to USB-C, and you are using the fastest port available on your PC. Just to prove how quick this is, I'm going to take the driver console and move it into the iPad. As you can see, that is very, very limited delay. Using SpaceDesk with a USB cable is definitely going to be better than over Wi-Fi. If you found this video useful, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.